Miki?
Okay.
You got it right.
Perfect. Well, and we're live.
Well, how are we all doing today?
Pretty
Great,
good, yeah.
thanks for having us.
Good. Today we have two very special guests. So how about you guys introduce yourselves?
Oh, I guess I'll go first. Hi, I'm Miki Sudo, top-ranked female competitive eater with Major League Eating. I'm the 6-time defending Nathan's hot dog eating champion on the women's side, and I'm going for my 7th belt next week.
And Nick Wehry, the mister to this prom queen over here, number 8 with Major League Eating, and just helping her prep for title defense, or hopefully title number 7.
Well, if you're listening or watching,
Wow.
you may recognize Nick from a previous podcast.
You know, he talks
Oh,
about
yeah.
eating so much stuff, and then he's like absolutely jacked. And then his other half is here as well. So we got like
Great. Welcome to the.
I'm
great
not-
show ahead. So yeah, what will we start off with, lads? I suppose we'll start off with a preparation for
Well-
next week. How you doing for that so far?
This year we found out relatively last minute that we were having a contest at all. So I found out on the 15th that I'd be competing. The contest itself is going to be a little bit modified. It's a smaller field. There's no crowd. We're indoors. But so I'm throwing together some sort of practice and preparation in the 2 weeks that I had at my disposal. I'm super, super fortunate that I've had Nick at my side every step along the way. So, he's kind of helped me mentally focus, even just through the whole pandemic ordeal. Even before we knew that we had a contest going, he's been keeping me sane. So when we did find out that there was a contest, I was, mentally in as good of a place as I could have hoped. And now it's just, putting everything into motion. We're doing my second hot dog practice tomorrow. We've been working out in the gym. I've been focusing on cardio every day. Nick's more into training, but yeah, so I have a great training sparring partner, somebody to keep me focused and motivated here. So I'd say, it's last minute, everything's condensed, but I think I'm on the right track.
You think you're gonna win?
It's good.
What was that? Oh, I don't think you're supposed to go into competition thinking that you're not going to win. So, I think.
I like that attitude.
I think smart money says that I'm going to take my 7th belt home, but obviously I'm going to have to put the right amount of. I'm going to have to put work into that. It's not just handed to me. But more than just winning, I'd really like to finally take that women's record. 45 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Away from. The previous record holder once and for all this year. I've never hit 45, so we're going to be on.
Repeat?
What was that?
Could you repeat how many hot dogs, just so everyone hears it again?
Oh, okay. So the current record is 45 hot dogs in 10 minutes, held by Sonia Thomas, who set that record before I even knew competitive eating was a thing. So it's a long-standing record from many, many, many years ago. I've never hit 45 at the table, but I know it's possible, and I'm really going to be shooting for that in addition to just merely winning this year.
That is nearly 5 hot dogs a minute.
I can't.
Jesus.
Or you just do 10 the first minute and, take it easy in the last part of the contest.
Because I seen you guys start to do the hot dog practice earlier, and it's like there's no way they finished it that fast because it was only the Instagram thing. I didn't get the whole thing. That's crazy. How?
We didn't upload the full practice. Just like little snippets. I don't know if I want to show my whole hand. I don't even know who I'm competing against, to be honest. So, I figured I'd keep some of that mystery there. I've been telling people I'm going to do better than last year, but I think it'd be fun for them to just see on their own, be surprised.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow will go better. So I think you're looking up Sonia Thomas right now. It's what is it? Sonya?
Yeah, you
Thomas?
see SONYA. Just for like Sonia Thomas competitive eater. But yeah, Sonia was
Oh,
top
there.
dog. Yeah, she was the top dog for the females for a long time on the eating circuit, and one of the top eaters of the circuit for a period of time. So she's got that women's record, but pretty much all of her previous like women's records outside of a few obscure eating contests, Miki has taken. Like Miki's pretty much undoubtedly the most successful female in Major League Eating history. She's the only one that's beaten Joey and Jeff and pretty much everyone at the table one time or another. So I think next week it'll be exciting to see the numbers she can hit. It's fun for us to practice together because we're two completely different eaters, like out of the box. I'm typically a little faster the first few minutes, but she keeps this insane pace. And as I'm dying 8 minutes into the contest, she's kind of just cruising along, consuming, whatever it is that we're eating. So it'll be really exciting to see. I'm excited to see how the practice goes tomorrow. Because if it's one of those things where like I'm typically pretty quick out of the contest, maybe a good first minute might be 9 hot dogs for me, 9.5 hot dogs in the first minute. So if she's on pace with me that first minute, she can really put up an unbelievable number because she can keep a pretty insane pace.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
I need you. How many hot dogs in a minute?
The best I've done is almost 10. 10 in a minute is the best I've gotten down. I in no way can I keep that pace, but if tomorrow we start a practice and I'm at 9 and she's around like 8, by minute 5, she'll kind of be shithousing me in the practice. Generally speaking, I start to really slow down. But you never know. It's one of those things where that's kind of the fun part is that competitive outlet that we have against each other, where it's like there is no one I want to beat more than her. And vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's really fun, and to see her go in and obviously with the plan on not only winning but trying to break that record, it's really cool from my side too.
Do you find that helpful when you're doing competitions that you're going up against each other as well?
Oh, absolutely. Because even prior to meeting and moving in with Nick, I practiced with Michelle Lesko, she's taken the second place spot at Nathan's a couple of years in a row now. So she's a great friend on the circuit and one of my closest friends in real life, probably my closest friend in real life. But anyway, so yeah, we were competitors at the table, but we would train with each other. So I've done a practice with her at least once every single year with her since 2013. And this is the first year that we're not going to get to practice together. So I've always really relied on having other people, mainly her. Now that she's across the country, I have Nick, and I'm super fortunate for that. But yeah, for me personally, having somebody to compete against gives that sense of, urgency.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's you want it. It's when you're practicing by yourself, like I did for the longest time, and you're just like on your porch or in your basement. When you're at hot dog number 35 or moon pie number 50 or something like that, there's this part of you that's like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing with my life? How did we get here?
Yeah.
Why am I eating hot dogs in my kitchen by myself?
Yeah, I'm covered in Crystal Light and I'm consuming my 40th cased hot dog. But so when you're against somebody, it's definitely that both of us are extremely competitive. We don't go into contests just to compete or just to have fun or any of this stuff. Like, I've said it before. Show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. Basically, it's like we both go in there with the intention of beating everyone. It's not, I go in there to be better than myself. Yeah, that's adorable, says the person with a 9th place magenta trophy. No, I go in there to try to beat every single person, including if it's
I like
just
your attitude.
Thank you. Yeah, including if it's just her and we're in the kitchen. I see the picture you brought up of Michelle. Michelle, yeah, she's known as a
Yeah, I
Canadian.
gotta ask. That
Yeah.
that I remember seeing that in the Guinness Book of World Records years
Yeah.
ago. That is, how do you look this woman in the eye?
Well, I don't because Michelle's about 4'11", so I look well over her head. But
Oh wow!
Whoa,
she's
it's impressive.
no, she's incredible when it comes, particularly foods that are kind of rough to the taste or the palate, like relish and mayonnaise and things like that. She's unbelievable, just putting up with flavor fatigue, and a good friend to both of ours. So
Yeah, you can see us eating that burrito together. No, actually, those were individual burrito challenges. on that second row there. So yeah, she went for the speed record. I doubled the challenge and took my time and ate too. I don't know. We just had fun like that at different restaurants around Arizona. She also visited me in Las Vegas when I lived there. So it's super unfortunate that she's not gonna probably make it to the table this year because of the state of Arizona situation.
Yeah, it's really cool to have that competitive outlet in each other, and then friends that do it too. That makes it a little bit easier to rationalize to yourself, ramming 15 pounds of something down your face in your kitchen.
After we had you on, I made myself 2 burgers, and I wanted to see how fast I could eat them. I'm not even gonna say how embarrassingly long it took.
That's okay. I think most people think we get that all the time is people will see, particularly her, if we go into a restaurant and order a challenge, they're like, oh, are you going to eat it? I'm like, nah, she is. And she gets this unbelievable look. Or people will say to us, like, oh, I could totally beat you in pancakes or if it was a pizza contest, I could totally do it. And I'm not comparing what we do to the LeBron Jameses, and Ken Griffey Jr.'s and the elite. But what I'm saying is anything done at a world-class level is so far ahead of your average person, and that includes competitive eating. I don't think most people can fathom eating, I'm ranked 8th in the world, but I did 17 pounds of poutine in 10 minutes. She did 20, 21 and a half or 22. Most people can't even begin to fathom what that looks like, feels like, or anything, and it's kind of insane.
Yeah, it must be nice to have that though, like being a world champion in something.
It's fun because I have somebody at the end of the day to relate to, so we get to, I don't know, it makes contests more exciting. It makes the stress surrounding competitions a little bit more manageable. It makes every win a little bit more rewarding because he knows the work that goes into it. So I definitely appreciate having, Nick around. And I could say that about any competitive eating friends, but
he's there all the time, so
Yeah, exactly. He understands me better than anyone.
She keeps me on an even keel, so I'm a really bad loser. So after the contest, when I'm like not really talking to anybody for a period of time, she brings me back and makes me remember, like, relax. Like you only lost to, like, say number 1, 2, and 4 in the world, so it's okay. You still ate 2 gallons of fries, cheese curds, and gravy, so you can calm down.
And plus, you could also, crush them with your bare fingers.
Look at this guy. Everyone look at this guy.
Yeah,
if you're listening on Spotify, go to YouTube and check this dude. Man, seriously, Nick, come on, man. You don't have to be angry. You could probably
your shoulders
eat
the size of my head.
I'm trying to make them the size of my head, but I have a giant head. So really, it's just my life goal is to make my body look symmetrical and not topple over. That's all it really is. It's like when you have this bowling ball melon like I have, you have no choice but to try to get bigger or just look like a bobblehead your whole life.
Fair enough.
I don't know, this guy looks like he could just intimidate somebody into giving him first place.
That would be nice. Yeah,
it hasn't worked yet.
It hasn't worked yet, but it is fun. Like when I get the reactions of telling people, like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually a professional." Because people ask even at work, like, "Oh, are you a bodybuilder?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Do you compete?" I'm like, "I'm actually a professional competitive eater." And they kind of laugh it off and walk away, and then they'll come back a few minutes later. They're like, "Wait, are you serious?" I'm like, yeah, no, I'm completely serious. I don't exactly. But neither of us. They wouldn't expect it out of me. They certainly wouldn't expect it out of her. So it's that's kind of the fun part is when her and I are leaving the gym and people would expect us to be more of like an acting couple or some type of like clothing model or something like that, and it's like, no, we put away a combined 40 pounds of poutine in 10 minutes.
Jesus. That's insane.
No, it is insane. It's completely insane. I love it so much. That's why I love having you guys on.
Yeah, even when the food's sitting in front of me at the start of a contest, it's really surreal looking at 40, 50 hot dogs, thinking that I'm expected to eat those. It's just seeing all that food at once still sends me into shock.
I would say the only one that like I'm not the only one, but one I'm really excited about is when they give us like that 20+ pound tray of wings at Hooters. That the wing contest I'm really excited about because I'm like this is
I
just
actually
gonna
wanted to ask about wing contests.
yeah, go ahead.
Will they like check how much you stripped off the bone? Like,
Yeah, well,
like
the whole
how does
bowl
that
is
work?
weighed. It's done by weight. So the number of wings that you get is actually it's a mathematical conversion. They weigh the bowl before and then they weigh it again after, and the displacement is I want to say it's converted every half an ounce gives you credit for one wing, something to that effect. But it's all done by weight. So the more ounces of meat you eat, the more you get credit for in terms of wings, and that really that eliminates any variation in how clean people eat wings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because some
Do
people
you
just try
ever
to go
get
for
anyone
pure
to eat
speed.
the bone?
I mean, it happens. You got to be careful because I mean,
you don't want to do that.
you prefer not to. But like you'll get some cartilage pieces and stuff because you're trying to go for speed and like in like Tahoe last year, for example, that was the wing contests that I was able to beat her. I did 223 in 10 minutes and she did like 215. And then in Buffalo, she beat me like
fucking loser. Come on, like that.
Yeah.
Seriously, I give you like 6 and I'm done.
Yeah, so it's tough. In Buffalo she did 200 plus to I think I only did like 170 or 180. I had a rough day there, but it's
Fucking rough.
it's
Rough day, 200
Jesus,
plus.
man.
yeah, Buffalo's rough. I actually got wing sauce in my eye a few minutes into that contest. So
bruh.
there's pictures of me with one clothes. I look like a pirate eating buffalo wings in Buffalo. It was not pleasant. I mean, either way, she probably would have beat me in Buffalo. She had a really good weekend. But those are fun. Wing contests are probably some of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Jesus, like these numbers are crazy. I eat like one spice box and then like a portion of fried rice, and I feel like my stomach is about to explode.
At a family barbecue, I go for my third hot dog, and they're like, "Hey, you had 2 already, kid. Put down."
I think that's part of it.
Then look at you guys.
I grew up, pretty broke. My family did not have a lot of money, and so when let's say there were 6 of us, and there's 7 chicken legs or something like that for dinner, it's like you better eat fast, but it doesn't really matter because Dad's taking that 7th chicken leg anyway. So if you want to eat, you eat quickly. And that's I think where some of my like eating quickly came from, and my ability to like consume large amounts of liquid was you kind of do that when you're really hungry and whatever. So that's actually one of the ways too. I'm really happy about this year. One of the things people don't talk about is like going into Nathan's. Nathan Smithfield is donating 100,000 hot dogs to food banks. And each individual competitor is donating to a food bank of choice, and Major League Eating will also be making a donation to a food bank, as well as like the $10,000 that we raised for Feeding America earlier this year for the Bet Online Quarantine Challenge. So that's really cool for me, especially coming from humble beginnings, so to speak, to be able to use our bizarre / unique talents to give back in large amounts. That's something kind of cool because a lot of people don't associate those things with competitive eating.
Yeah. I just had like a really random
You guys must
thought.
get a.
Go on, Thomas.
Oh, Dara, please.
Go ahead.
Random thoughts.
Are you sure? Random thought, right? I'm just thinking.
Of course.
Is there at any point in time when eating fast, like obviously both of you are insanely fast at eating stuff. So is there any time that like benefits you in everyday life? Because I could totally see you like rushing to get on a plane, but you want to eat something first, and you just kill it in like 3 seconds, and then you leg it.
I guess I've never had a problem with not being able to eat fast enough. I mean,
yeah, there's definitely times I think people's like hands would be tied and they're sitting there, or like you get a phone call and you get a mouthful of food.
Oh, that's another one.
Most people would probably have to like let it go and then try to call the person back, and then you play the game where they just called you but they don't pick up and you call them back. With us, it's kind of like, oh, what do I have?
Or actually, yeah.
A piece of pizza in my hands. If I have about 4 seconds, this is gone, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, working in the restaurant industry too, you don't get proper breaks when I was a waitress or bartender. So if I had, 5 or 10 minutes to sneak away, I could just eat an entire meal in half that time. I guess. I mean, I guess that's a problem that some people might have.
I never thought of it that way, but like working in gyms or working retail, sometimes you're solo on the floor, and like a lot of times I would just bring like a 32-ounce shake or something. And for me, 32 ounces is probably about 5 seconds just to be able to chug it down. So like that's probably way more convenient. I guess I never really thought that it benefits me like that in day-to-day life.
Yeah, no. I had to have what is it, like some sort of abdominal check or something. I don't know. So as part of a physical, I had to drink like 32 ounces of some sort of fluid. And the lady said I should probably get a head start on that because it could take me some time. And I'm like, wait, 32 ounces? This is nothing. This is 2 pint glasses. Jeez. So yeah, I guess, I don't know.
These are the things we take for granted, I suppose.
Yeah.
5 seconds to drink 32 ounces. Man.
It takes me like an hour to drink a can of Monster.
Dara can do it in 4.
That's-
Good man, Dara.
No,
An absolute
no,
scullion for pints.
no. Don't. All right, for the pints now. If we're talking about drink, man, I scold them. Scold them. Yeah, but that's 16 ounces. A pint is 16, so like that is wow.
Yeah,
Why is
there's
it
There's
not?
a 5
a
seconds,
few
man.
videos like Badlands. Eric Booker has his channel Badlands Chugs, which is 80 zillion subscribers at this point. He did the 4 of us did a chug on like a bottle of some type of soda, so like in Buffalo. And in small amounts, like in large amounts, if we're talking a gallon plus, I'll typically lose to some of the higher ranked eaters. But I was able to beat Badlands in a small amount. Like that was a few seconds to get out of that glass. So yeah, I mean anything small, like at 16 ounces, you're literally talking seconds.
Like that is insane. Like you're saying, Jared, it take me 4 seconds for a pint. It takes this man 4 seconds for 2 pints.
Yeah.
That's-
Check out Badlands' channel if you haven't. He's pretty unbelievable,
Oh,
particularly
yeah.
with, like carbonated stuff, or just like he chugs out of like the boot a lot, or he'll do like 64-ounce slushies, which are an absolute nightmare.
Oh my
because, like,
god, brain
frozen.
freeze galore.
Yeah, Badlands is unbelievable, and honestly, that man right there in those pictures is arguably the kindest human being I've ever met. Like that is a genuinely good human being too. So that's like supporting his channel, checking out his stuff. 1, it's unbelievable, and 2, he's just a really good guy. Like there's not a person.
I've seen him in memes before.
I have
Yeah.
seen him in memes when he
I've
bursts
seen
at
him
the end of a chug.
as well, yeah.
Yeah,
I think my favorite video of his is the Big Smoke Order, where he dresses up like
yeah.
Smoke from San Andreas and does the Big Smoke Order challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, dedication right there. Like,
Yeah, he came straight up to me at my at the first contest that we competed against each other in May of 2013, my first year competing. He just goes right up to me with a purpose and gives me a T-shirt and the biggest hug and welcomes me to competitive
Aw.
eating. He's like the nicest
That's
person
really nice.
ever.
yeah, that's wholesome.
Yeah, and I'm super lucky because he'll be there on July 4th, I think, performing and eating maybe. He's done a few interviews, so we'll see. So I have that to look forward to. He's somebody that I definitely look forward to seeing on the circuit.
Oh yeah.
I can't explain how cool this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I actually had a question for you, Miki.
Yeah.
When you do like what you call them, eating challenges, do you ever get discriminated against because you're a professional eater?
Yeah, but that's not a personal thing. I don't know if I don't know if I'd call it discrimination. Just some restaurants opt to ban professional eaters from taking on their challenges altogether. I came across that problem on my cross-country drive from Arizona to Connecticut. So last September, I set up several challenges to break up this cross-country trip on my way to the East Coast. And on a couple instances, the day prior to me doing the challenge that was already scheduled, they called me back and canceled, saying that I was ineligible for being professional. They'd looked me up, Anyway, so but that's just some restaurants, choosing to not award cash prizes to professionals, and it's their business, their rules. I really can't complain. But I will say that it gets a little bit dicey when they knowingly let us take on challenges and then purposely mislead us or double the challenge size or weight or try to cut down the time. Basically, they change the specifications or the rules because of who we are. And I feel like that's a little bit underhanded. I'm not going to name names, but that's happened to me.
Yeah, that's not unlike.
What? Why do you think they might do that?
I think some places are just, it could be a couple reasons. Some are reluctant to award cash prizes. Others feel that their reputation and their egos tied to this undefeated challenge. So it's something like a pride thing, I guess. Which is silly because I'd like to think that by a professional eater coming by, promoting your restaurant, just saying good things about the food and the service, we can offer a little bit of value to them. But then again, their restaurant, their rules, and ultimately, if they decide to switch up those rules on us, can't really do much about it. What do you do? Call the police?
Yeah. I was thinking actually, like, if I was a business owner, and that's my business, I have this big undefeated challenge. I'd rather if someone like you came and bet it. Number one, female competitive eater. Like, the only person to beat it would be, like, if that was you, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of the
I
way
think that'd be good for
feel.
business.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, we'd have no problem, particularly because we'll call ahead of time to make sure that the challenge is active.
Yeah,
or
we don't
all
want to
the
waste
rules.
anybody's time.
So it's like, I have no problem, posting on social media beforehand or afterwards and saying how great the service was and this, that, and the other. And especially now in the days of, like, Yelp and all the social media posts, that will go miles, particularly if somebody buries you. Like, because more people are willing to post negative stuff, like a whole bunch of Karens, like just whining out a business. And so if you have, like, somebody whose job it is to eat, posting about how great your restaurant is, that's probably going to go a long way. But some people just, their ego, they get a little big for their britches because they have some 7-pound sandwich that they don't want somebody to beat.
Yeah.
The undefeated 7-pound sandwich.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Or you get competitive eaters that a challenge is brand new because they've worked it out with a restaurant to create a challenge. And they're the first person that's ever tried it. And they'll make, like, a YouTube video or they'll post about it. Like, the previously undefeated such and such burger challenge. Well, yeah, by default. That's true of anything. Like, I was undefeated as a competitive eater before I ever competed, too. Yeah, it's
a good point.
Of course, yeah. It is, yeah.
Obviously, if you think of a competitive eater, you don't think of you guys. You think, oh, okay, not that sounded bad. No, I mean in terms of your fitness. Like, you guys are insanely fit. Could you tell us a bit about your training routines?
Oh, that's
or
definitely a Nick question.
the rest of your dieting?
It's definitely a Nick
no,
question.
I mean, we're our diets, I'll say 6 out of 7 days are spot on. Like, I'm a little bit more macronutrient counting based and, like, from years of competing in bodybuilding. My protein is still astronomically high compared to a normal person, probably 300 plus grams a day, which I'm not saying is necessary, but it keeps me fuller and helps me retain some form of muscle tissue. And then other than that, it's a good amount of, like, oatmeal and veggies for me. And with her, it's a good amount of boneless, skinless chicken and a boatload of, like, kale, broccoli, onions, mushrooms, celery, so
I
on.
really like my vegetables.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm not as particular with counting calories or macronutrients. And like Nick, I mean, yeah, because that's not my background. I just prefer to stay active in any way that I can. So,
Yeah, so for her, it's predominantly cardio with a little bit of resistance training, maybe a couple days a week with me. And then for me, it's pretty much purely resistance training. And if I want to do cardio, I'll just weight train faster. I did cardio when I was getting ready for shows, but pretty much ever since I got ready for bodybuilding shows, I haven't done too much cardio. except for like occasionally maybe getting ready for like a Nathan's or a bigger contest. I'll do a little bit so that because really I want to be. I eat better when I'm in what I guess most people would consider insanely good shape. When I have like veins running through my abs and my face is kind of drawn and stuff like that. Like for me, and I'm not saying this in a conceited way, I mean it seriously. Like it's become normal, I guess. It's not for everybody, but like once you get into the kind of shape where you could like grate cheese on your butt cheeks, like anything shy of that kind of like you feel
We
worse.
just found the name of this episode.
Yeah, so it's but yeah, we feel better when we're leaner. We eat better when we're leaner. So, and it's kind of fun for us to do together is stay in shape and then eat enough food to kill a large mammal.
With that said, I don't know. Still need to get my weight down a little bit before next week because I feel like practice went well last time. Tomorrow's probably going to go decently, but hitting that 10 hot dogs in a minute mark, I only did that in like my first couple years in practice. My initial dogs per minute's gone down. As my weight's kind of plateaued here, so it'd be kind of cool to see like coupling like my capacity with that initial speed. If I could get numbers closer in the high 40s, it's another variable to work on. I only have 7 days, so we'll see. Lots more time in the gym.
7 days.
Yeah, 7 days.
Sure. Yeah. Wow.
Crunch
So like
time.
you said you said earlier that you're doing your second hot dog run tomorrow, was it?
Yeah.
What did you hit in your first one?
My
If you don't
tank?
mind sharing.
Actually, I'm not going to go. I can't be super specific
Of
because
course.
I only cooked up 40 and I finished with more than a minute to spare. So I ran out of the 40 that I cooked. So it was a pretty good pace.
Yeah, it was 40 and change. It probably would ended up being. It's hard to say.
I just ran out at 40.
Yeah, because like it's hard to say when you run out of or like you finish ahead of the time. So.
Of course, yeah.
No, that's fair.
So yeah, which is already 9 more than I finished at the final table last year. So for my first practice, not too bad.
Yeah, that isn't too bad. Well, I must say, good luck with your training tomorrow then.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, tomorrow might go smoother because did Nick tell you that we had like a hiccup in our first practice?
Wait,
No?
no, what?
Oh, so we were getting set up to eat outdoors on the picnic table in front of the garage, and we're going in and out, and a bear shows up. So
What?
yeah, so we had
A what?
we had some,
A bear?
yeah, it was a huge black bear. These things apparently live all over the place in Connecticut.
A new challenger.
Yeah, Nick, he didn't warn me when I moved across the country.
What?
So yeah, so now there are bears in our backyard, and I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so we move everything indoors, finally get everything set up, and it went smoother. But hopefully tomorrow we won't have any, random bear appearances. And
You seem very calm for someone who had a bear in their backyard. Oh, bear came in. So annoying. Come on.
And then all of a sudden, bear
You
comes
take
out
that to
woods.
break.
Oh, fuck, we have to go inside.
Nick,
Yeah,
the bear's back.
I went outside and like was able. He's kind of right around the porch, so I went outside and kind of walked over and kicked the garbage cans over at him, and he scurried away. Like most of the time, they're more scared of you. He just wanted to eat the garbage. So he's
What kind of bear?
a big black bear, probably maybe like 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall.
Oh my god.
Enough to rip me to pieces had I gone
Yeah.
too close, but like. Fortunately, they're if you act confident and kind of make noise, they'll typically run away from you. So
I wouldn't want to stand between a bear and have like 45 hot dogs though. So
you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you reckon you could out eat a bear?
Maybe in the first minute, but probably not. For a period of time. But like I had been fasting for 24 hours, getting ready for that practice. So like the only thing scarier than the bear in the driveway was me fasting for 24 hours, wanting to start my hot dog practice. So it's kind of needed to get him out of here.
All I can imagine is like the most cartoonish thing where you look through the peephole of the door and there's just a bear standing there.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was not
Honey, it's the
pleasant.
mailman.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow, it's a bearless practice and things go off without a hitch.
You're
Fearless
hoping.
practice.
Yeah.
That's definitely a runner-up for the title. Fearless
Yeah.
practice.
You guys have
Jesus.
given us a lot of titles we could use for this video. This is brilliant.
This is some crazy story.
You guys bounce off each other so well as well. It's perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So
when it comes to
you have a oh god damn it. Go on.
oh no, you go first. Nah,
No, it's all right, Jared.
nah, big man, talk first.
All right. Oh, big man. Call me big man. Let's call him a bit bigger, okay?
Just ask a
Alright,
damn
alright.
question. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
let me ask the question. I was about to ask and then you interrupted me. Anyways,
God.
uh, I asked this last time, but I was just wondering what are both your favorite eating challenges that you've done?
Eating
Like not a
challenges?
competition now, yeah, just a challenge.
I think my favorite one was actually a homemade challenge that we did recently. I don't know if you had a moment to check out. We did a 10
Sushi?
pound. Yeah, was it 10 pounds?
Yeah,
I don't know. The big sushi roll. That was fun because we had to engineer this thing together and it came out amazingly well, far better than I thought in terms of taste and the quality and structural integrity. So I was super proud that we even pulled that off. That was my favorite challenge recently. So you haven't
Wow.
seen
With
that, check out,
3.3 thousand views. That is pretty damn good.
And sushi roll.
No, that was definitely a fun one to put together. That one, or when she did Brian Shaw's daily diet in one meal.
Oh, yeah,
That was that you talk about a human being that I met in Dallas that's about 6'10" and 420 odd pounds.
She makes Nick look
Yeah, I shook Brian's hand and it felt like I was shaking like 5 bananas attached to a frying pan. Like my hand just disappeared into his hand. He's another genuinely nice guy, but Brian eats copious amounts of food. I think around 10 to 11,000 calories. The kicker is he's not like these guys that are eating garbage foods to get their calories. He's eating steak and chicken and rice and grits and all this. And she did his daily meal, in which he struggles with on a daily basis, in about 40 minutes, casually.
Oh my god.
At the table. So that was a lot of fun to create. It made a really cool visual. And it's kind of unbelievable to sit there and just kind of enjoy like a 4-time world's strongest man's diet in 40 minutes.
10,000 calories in 40 minutes. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. So that was
That is-
one of the most fun I've had, just helping her create that challenge and watching her do it.
That's insane.
Sounds painful.
Oh my god.
No, it does. Like, man, you're like, fucking hell, come on. Like,
Thinking about that much food is making my stomach full.
yeah. Making me feel sick right now.
I'm starving.
Yeah, I know. This is making me hungry. I was craving Hooters wings earlier when we were talking about those. We can't wait for the all-you-can-eat wings to come back. Was it every Thursday?
Every Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday. One of them's useless, boneless wings, but we'll take whatever we can at this point.
Yeah, boneless wings are
You
not
guys
allowed
are
outside
so
of the
lucky.
Yeah, we're waiting for those to come back. Oh my gosh.
I think I can count on one hand how many all-you-can-eat buffets there are in Ireland.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah,
I-
probably.
Well,
I think
that
I've
might
been
be
to
the case
zero.
here now, so we don't know what the case is going to be now with everything, because like all you can eat places are, I think you're going to have to start like ordering and they bring it to you pre-portioned. So I don't know how people like us are going to do it. Yeah,
That's
so,
a shame.
yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll see how
40
it
of your finest hot dogs, please.
That's insane. Jesus. What foods are you looking forward to after quarantine, boys? Reopening.
Jeez, I'm looking forward to going to Cosmos again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
Cosmos.
need
Oh,
place.
is that the place up in Liffey Valley, is it?
In Liffey Valley, yeah. It's good
That's
crack.
the only place I can think that is where it's all you can eat. To be honest
There's a
with you.
Moroccan place in Dublin, but it's kind of weird. It's really weird the way they run it. So I don't know if you want to count that one.
No, man, KFC. Oh,
You're rotten.
I'm mad for the KFC, man. Oh my god.
Did you go anywhere out there? Because Miki actually got to do an all-expenses-paid trip to Ireland in exchange for competing in an oyster eating contest, which is one of the things most of us said we would never do.
What?
And she hates oysters, but the exchange was you get a free all expenses paid trip to Ireland. So she was like, well,
That is
screw it. I'll eat
mental.
oysters.
Tell
and
us
go
all
get a free
about it.
trip.
We probably know where you've been.
It was at the
Galway.
Hillsborough Oyster Festival.
Wait, it was
Say that again, sorry.
Hillsborough Oyster Festival.
Hillsborough.
I think that was in 2017, maybe.
Something like that.
Maybe I did it in 2016, but either way, yeah, Hillsborough International Oyster Festival. It might be. I don't know. Is this festival still? Oh, wow! There you go. I think they did away with the oyster eating championship, but they had it for many years, and each year they invited 2 American competitors from the Major League Eating to compete against their reigning champion, Colin. His last name escapes me right now, but he didn't really. He wasn't a self-professed competitive eater, but he was amazingly quick at inhaling oysters. So I think I did 160 oysters in 3 minutes and came in second place, which sounds impressive, but I was actually tied for second place against the other American, and there were only 3 people in the event. So, I mean, it's just a matter of how you want to spin that. Honestly, for me, that the oysters didn't come back up, that was a little victory in itself. By the way, I'm looking up Cosmos right now. Authentic World Kitchen. Oh my gosh, I'm getting that.
Cosmos.
Yeah,
They
what
make
do they
good
actually
shit.
do in Cosmos? I've never been there.
They do Chinese food, Italian food, sushi, loads of desserts.
Carvery.
Oh man, how has no one ever told me about this place?
So we'll go when quarantine's over.
Oh man,
Right?
best believe.
Have
and I'm
ourselves a
gonna-
trip recorded. Show it to these guys.
Teppanyaki, World of Asia, Carvery.
Oh my god, we
fantastic.
actually should.
Trip on here just with a buffet.
Yeah. To be honest, we don't have that many competitive eaters over here, so you guys could walk in there, man. You
Yeah,
put
we
them out of
should
business.
make like a podcast dedicated to Nick and Miki for just us
Then
trying
people
our
book
best.
a restaurant challenge tour or something. That would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
If people want to, we'll do a GoFundMe, and people can fund us traveling the world, and we'll film it, just going to different city restaurants and taking on food challenges, like man versus food, only like with 20 times the food, and a couple. It'll be couple versus three.
The 3 of us
I
will do
wonder
like
how he funded that show.
the 3 of us will do is like the best we can in Cosmos and see how it compares. Thomas will probably eat 3 wings and be out.
Out cold. We have to carry him out of there.
Food coma.
The sushi they have in there isn't that nice, I'll be honest. It's,
I've never had sushi.
Yeah,
it's like,
honestly,
it's like the
I
tuna
don't
you get
really-
from a can.
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's yeah, but it's a good thing about a buffet. You have other options that you can.
Thomas, wow,
I
to
think
start.
that's
Yeah,
the
shut
wrong
up.
one. That's the wrong one, man.
Thomas, you gotta get better at this part of the job.
Here, this is the you go up, you tap a
Oh.
plate, you go up. It's like
Yeah, it's
like
handy.
your normal kind of buffet kind of stuff, you know.
Oh man, don't show me that.
All right, Thomas and Dara, I challenge you guys. A year from now.
Man, we all
Here's for
know
this
that I
day.
would destroy everyone.
I'll eat you out of house
except
and home.
about the 3 of us.
Yeah, there's some tricks that we could teach you, and like the orders of which to eat food and what to do to help you guys make the most of your buffet experience. To try to make
Nick, I'll be in contact later, okay?
Please.
No, I'll be in contact later. Don't worry.
I think no. I think I'd pretty much kill these guys.
Damn it. Nah,
Thomas, you've seen my
Wait,
capacity.
you probably wouldn't beat me because fuck that.
Man, you've seen my capacity for food.
Yeah.
I just eat and I don't stop.
Anyway, lads. I was going to ask you guys before that monstrosity. Do you guys prefer sweet or savory foods when you're eating competitively?
Oh, competitively, I probably opt for savory, but in real life, I mean, I just alternate and go both. But
Yeah, exactly. That's one benefit of
I
having
don't have to choose.
a virtually bottomless capacity is like you choose both. Like when we went to like a state fair, and people were like, well, how do you know which food place to go to? What do you mean which food place to go to? I'm stopping at all of them. So I'm like, you go back and forth. That kind of helps. I would say in contest, I guess it would depend on the food. More so, sweet versus savory would depend on like the texture of the food. Maybe sweet because sometimes I do a little bit better with flavor fatigue than some people, and sweet things can very quickly get old when you're eating pounds and pounds and pounds of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for sweet foods, I end up using more liquid. I use coffee more than I realized because just to break up that flavor. But with that said, I hold the world ice cream record at over 2 gallons in 6 minutes. So I can't say that I
Oh my God.
dislike sweet foods.
Lads, 8 liters ice cream. Could you do it?
Yeah,
What
she
in my
did, what was it,
fuck?
16 and a half pints?
Yeah.
I'm actually getting a brain freeze thinking about it.
Yeah, if you look
How'd you
at
do it?
world ice cream record or whatever. Actually, I don't know if that they're probably multiple, but in 6 minutes, it's definitely a record. How I had a lot of motivation. There were just some people that I did not want to lose to that day.
That's
I had
fair.
no business losing that competition to begin with, but I got pushed to my limits.
Did you have brain freeze after?
No, but you know what? My core temperature dropped. I felt like my vital organs were shivering, which probably wasn't healthy.
Yeah, when you
Oh
think
my
about it,
God.
like 16, 16 pints of ice cream, basically like 1/9 of her, or 1/8 of her body weight was ice cream for a period of time. So
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna cool you down.
Yeah, so I
That's
had to
a
find ways to just
terrifying
warm up
thing to
real
think about.
quick.
You know,
I want to get like frostbite from the inside out or something.
Oh,
we
That sounds
fucking
horrible.
OD'd on that, you know?
OD'd on ice cream.
I mean, that I presume 16. That's fairly close to what
How
what
close
it
were
actually
you?
is.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Freeze, when Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze in that Batman movie. That's actually how he became Mr. Freeze. Was trying
Wow.
to beat Miki in the contest. He got second, and he became Mr. Freeze.
Got second. Became Mr. Freeze. Jesus. Nah. Well, that is. I don't think I could eat like my favorite ice cream.
No.
Like I don't think I could eat that much of my favorite ice cream.
Was it
Never
all the
mind
same
like
flavor?
vanilla. Yeah, it was all vanilla, right?
No.
Yeah, it was
Was
all vanilla.
all vanilla. Oh god, I wouldn't. No.
Oh
Fuck
wow,
I'll
that.
Thomas,
never
look
have
at you.
vanilla ice cream
Look at
again.
you not trusting my judgment, Thomas. I know my stuff.
I'm just saying, like they could have like thrown like a bit of chocolate, right? That must have been
Yeah, bit of
torturous eating.
chocolate there.
The
Make it
chocolate
mix of
toffee,
both.
maybe.
Couple of
That might be-
sprinkles. Bits of cookie dough in there.
I mean, that's just
Throw a bit of-
torturous.
Throw a bit of salted caramel on top. Come on.
It'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant. I'd do that now.
But Nick and I took on these ice cream challenges. Where were we? I don't know, and I forgot how much those weighed.
Well, we had the 20-pound ice cream sundae we made
Yeah.
on the channel too.
Yeah, we did that. I don't know, but the thing with ice cream challenges is it sounds great to have all different flavors and toppings and sauces in the beginning, but you quickly lose that variety because everything becomes one big, chocolate, strawberry, gummy bear,
Melted
watermelon,
mess.
cotton candy, caramel soup. With just
Oh my
like way too many flavors that don't belong together.
Yeah.
So I don't know, ice cream challenges I think are a lot more fun than they turn out to be.
Yeah, it's like the movie Elf
Yeah.
when he's pouring like maple syrup and like cotton candy,
Oh my god, yeah.
candy corns. Yeah, they quickly become that to where you're like,
Would
okay.
you eat that meal from Elf?
I mean, I would do it for a fun video or something. Just make like a bigger version of like his chocolate spaghetti, whatever he did.
You guys ever watch Bush? He makes all these foods from like TV and movies. Be really cool to see you guys try like do those challenges from movies and TV.
What was the? Sorry, you cut out for a second. Did we ever watch what one?
Have you ever seen Binging with Babish? It's a cooking show.
Yeah. Yeah,
It'd be
so,
pretty
it was
cool to see you guys take on some of the things he's done.
Yeah, we're always looking for new like video ideas and stuff like that. So like some of the ones from movies and TV, and we have some friends that do some YouTube content, and they'll do some of those. So it's like we're not trying to step on anybody's toes, and redo stuff, but like
Yeah.
you get to an extent where if it's a public, thing, or it's pop culture, then obviously some of it's gonna have carryover. And so yeah, I would definitely love to do some of those. Like our buddy Jeff Esper just did a really cool Blues Brothers thing. I think with like 4 rotisserie chickens and a bunch of toast, and some other stuff. So like yeah, there's some cool ones from TV that I've thought about giving a go.
What's like the one TV or like movie meal that you would want to have, like as a challenge or just as a video? If you could pick one.
I don't know. can't think of anything from TV or a movie.
That's tough. Yeah.
I
I
got
kind of
one.
just want to spend a day in Japan and eat everything that seems good at the moment. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
that's a tough one, to be honest with you, just from a movie and stuff. Like, people have asked, they'll mention movies like the Cool Hand Luke 50 Hard-Boiled Eggs thing, or like
Oh yeah.
the Harold and Kumar thing, but those are kind of like, they'd be easy to do, so it's like, if I was
Really?
going to do something, yeah,
Wait,
I'll
you're saying
totally-
the Harold and Kumar like White Castle challenge is easy?
yeah, it's like a
Good
crate
God.
case and some sodas and some fries or something, yeah, and
Wait,
like,
But the
how-
Cool
how-
Hand
how's
Luke,
this
the
podcast
eggs,
again?
50 hard-boiled eggs.
yeah, like 50 hard-boiled eggs would be a piece. She did like 115 or 110 in the contest or something.
Well, I don't like that movie anymore. No, I'm kidding. That dude was supposed to be like, what was it, like God? Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
Nice.
any sort of food challenge, like ideal food challenge, would just have a lot of variety. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That to me is just going to an all-you-can-eat sushi place or something.
Yeah, like if there was like a world buffet where everything was insanely good quality, that's where I'd want. I just want to go. I want Vegas to open back up and nobody to be there, and I just get to walk around Vegas like a zombie town and go to the different buffets. That would be my ideal
Yeah.
food with her, of course. Well, that would be my ideal food challenge.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That would
that
be
sounds
really fun
amazing.
to get to do together. 'Cause I spent like 8 years in Las Vegas, and all that to me is normal. But just to be there with somebody who would really, really appreciate it for the same reasons as that I did. And one of the few reasons I appreciated Las Vegas for the buffet options and because the airport's very, very convenient. And I think Nick could relate to both of those. So it'd be really nice to go do a Vegas trip together, but for reason that a totally different reason than your usual couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, very, very different.
Yeah. That's
What do you guys think is going to be the future of your YouTube channel? Because the views on that is crazy. It's doing really well. You're bordering 30,000 subscribers.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. We just got some hardware updates that are going to make editing so much easier and so much more convenient. Just the computer arrived. By the way, I was working with a computer that's like 8 years old. So basically, everything kind of came to like right around the same day as we found out that Nathan's was happening. So shifting things around, but I don't know. We're excited to make more content together.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do stuff together and then still showcase like both of our kind of like individual like talents and differences, because obviously there's people that watch the channel primarily for her, and there's probably one or two people that watch it more so for me, but like doing the stuff with the couple is like the most fun to do. So doing some of that, and then if we could do things as silly as we've seen some people as like a Vegas trip or like an international trip, and put things like that on the channel, or once competitions really start to come back and kind of focus on the fact that like a lot of times we're there the day before, the day after, and we might be enjoying the city. Like if we're in Buffalo or Salt Lake City or whatever, put some of that content up. That would be like fun to do and fun to make the content. So hopefully a lot of big eating, and then just some like some cool couple stuff too. Some adventures that way, traveling and such.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
yeah. That's,
Actually, I'm browsing the channel right now. Your most popular video, what was it? Girl drinks 2 liters of Diet Coke without burping. Nearly 600,000 views. Woo!
Yeah, it's
What?
pretty insane. I think that got a push because Matt Stoney did something right around the same time. I mean, it would have been after me because Matt Stoney is an amazing eater. He's done some crazy. He's a better eater than I am, or whatever. I mean, but the thing is, I actually did that thing and uploaded that video before his successful thing. So I'm gonna say Matt's video gave me a push, but I did not copy him.
Matt actually has a lot of competitive eaters try that 2-liter thing,
Yeah.
and Matt is one of the ones, and this is taking nothing away from him. If there's a Major League Eating Hall of Fame, Matt will be first ballot in there. Matt has a tough time doing the 2-liter no burp. We're all built kind of differently, and that's one of the things he kind of struggles with. And Miki, even compared to all the other eaters, it's a piece of cake. Like, we've raced a few times with 2-liter no burps, and she kicks my ass when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do, particularly depending on the soda. And so, like, she was one of the first people to really upload that kind of video. And yeah, I really got to push with Matt, and then her Nathan's wins.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff like
I didn't. I think I might have taken the idea from Matt because Matt tried it and failed. It was like many years ago. And then so I uploaded the video, so I didn't copy him, but definitely I want to give credit where credit's due. It wasn't my idea solely, and the views definitely came thanks to his channel. So anyway, those are fun to do. I don't feel like a lot of work goes into them, so that's why I don't upload more of those, even though they're requested a lot. I don't know. So it's going to be finding a healthy balance between silly 2-liter videos and more elaborate things, but
Yeah.
super excited to put out more content.
Then there's videos you never know how they're gonna go. Like we had a lot of fun doing the Joe Exotic ridiculous video that we did, where I actually dyed my hair and shaved my beard into a Fu Manchu, and she dressed up like a tiger, and we did this video. And sometimes it just doesn't get the push that you think it's going to, but you never know. Like we're having fun doing it, so it's kind of like figure out where the rhythm is and what people want to see, and then just kind of have put out more fun content.
Yeah, I think like with putting out content, it's better to have fun with it than to
Exactly.
like appeal to like the mainstream.
I wouldn't know much about fun,
To be
especially
honest,
with this
like,
podcast, lads.
if I were just trying to get views, I'd be a half-naked girl drinking 2 liters, and that's not really what I want to be. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it'd just be, like, super gimmicky, and that's not what I'm about. And I don't want to take away from people who get a lot of views by doing that. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of not my style.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, we both could play into, like, people have asked me to, like, eat shirtless or things like that, and it's like, I get it, I understand the concept, but, like, that's all fun and good.
It seems like cheap views.
Yeah, we'd rather be known for the fact that we're both legitimate top 10 eaters, and if we happen to look good in the process, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, Nick walks around without a shirt plenty of times. Like, I'll catch that. You're gonna catch Nick without a shirt, like, without trying. So it's just like I don't need to like go and look for footage look for that footage on purpose.
Normally, to film a video, I have to put on clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's good. Like that. Yeah. Obviously, Jared just said he wouldn't know about having fun because there's a running joke about him being a dictator on the channel.
Yeah,
Keeping us as
it's
hostage.
somewhat true, but yeah.
Somewhat true, yeah, but we don't talk about it too much.
There's got to be a natural leader somewhere. It takes trying.
Oh, he's not natural.
Well,
He just
I
kind
wouldn't
of
call him.
forces you
I wouldn't
upon.
call him a leader. I'd just call him a dictator.
Lads,
Okay,
back
that's
to
fair.
work or you're
I'm
fired.
trying to give him the
Just
benefit
keep-
of the doubt.
Fucking typing then, will I? You fucking anyway.
I know, we've great crack doing the podcast. We get to talk to all sorts of different people from all different backgrounds. We've talked to ghost hunters, actors, and competitive eaters, and ninja warriors, Olympians. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. The things that the channel's let us do so far, like.
Yeah.
Now you've got a competitive eating bodybuilder.
Yeah,
There you go, 2 in 1.
A competitive eating bodybuilder and a competitive eating couple. So like, you guys can just keep going. The sky is the limit with the number of people you can interview and type of people.
Yeah, no, it's great fun. And obviously, Nick, you've the honor of being the first person on twice.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's been great talking to you guys. I think we've learned a fair bit. In order to beat these lads in a competition, I'm going to be in contact with you guys more.
Sounds good.
More than
but
happy.
no, but best of luck with your competition coming up soon.
Best of luck.
We'll definitely be following to see how it goes. Is
Yeah.
it going to be live anywhere?
Yeah, is it going to be live?
Yeah.
I don't know how the broadcast works internationally,
Yeah, I'm not sure how this, but it's on the regular, not even ESPN2. It'll be broadcast on ESPN at noon Eastern time. So like Eastern Standard Time, it'll be noon, and then again like 3 or 4 times over the course of the day. So I'm not sure how that ESPN broadcast works, but I imagine it's somewhat international.
Yeah, if you can't catch the broadcast,
Yeah, we'll have to see it
live
after.
or
Yeah, we'll
replay,
find it
like,
anyway.
you might have to go to ESPN.com and check it out through the app because they have the footage all saved. So you might have to do some digging.
Yeah.
But that
But I'm sure it'll be worth it.
Sure, we just want to see you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll try
For our
to do,
favorite competitive eaters.
we'll try to do some social media updates when we're there. Obviously, she'll be incredibly busy with everything going on, but try to keep everybody updated. It'll definitely be updated on the channel as soon as we can. Try to be on ESPN.com and stuff, and everybody can tune in, check it out, watch her go for title number 7, watch her kick some ass.
Number 7. That's
will,
so cool.
7 will be second ever, only to Joey Chestnut and Nathan's titles. That's pretty.
No pressure, right?
More than
Yeah.
like, everybody mentions Kobayashi. Kobe has 6 titles. If Miki wins number 7, she will pass Kobe for second ever.
That's amazing. Well, we're rooting for you. Don't worry.
Oh,
I
we
feel
Um,
like I racked up one more title just by winning this year. If I do, I mean, assuming I win, I get another belt, but I also get that honor. Pretty cool.
Well, best of luck anyway.
I'm actually excited. I
watching.
never thought I'd be excited to see people eat.
I never thought I'd be excited to ram hot dogs down my face for 10 minutes either, but somehow we all end up here.
Life choices.
Yeah,
Make the right ones, kids.
It's okay. I met the love of my life by eating hot dogs, so.
Aww.
Could be worse.
Aww.
Yeah. This is the sentimental part of the podcast.
It's gonna make me cry. Come on, stop, guys.
This is a family show.
So, if anyone wants to check you guys out, where can they find you?
So youtube.com/Miki Sudo. So we're slowly growing the channel. And then for me, my social media account is OMG, it's Miki. So, oh my God, it's Miki.
And mine is NWEHRY 2415. So NWeary2415. Those are all my social media links. Follow hers, and the Hungry Couple on Instagram. You'll see my handsome face in that profile picture, and that'll make it easy to distinguish.
Follow Miki and Nick.
Yeah.
That one's probably a better, I don't know, amalgamation of our 2 competitive eating careers.
Yeah.
Adventures and exploits. So
Yeah, we're going to link that below, so if anyone wants to check it out, they can.
100%.
Sorry, I feel kind of rusty with all this social media plugging. I just found out 10 days ago that I was even eating hot dogs.
During quarantine, we haven't been doing quite as many like news segments and interviews and things like that. So really appreciate you guys having us on. It was awesome time, just like last time. I wish you guys all the best and continue, because like some of your interviews, like the people you've gotten on there, I've been following you guys on social media. I'm like, how the hell?
Are you a fan of Black Ops?
Yeah, so it's been.
Yeah, we got
cool.
James C. Burns on. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Keep it going, guys.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
All right, well, to everyone watching, go and check out Nick and Miki's channel and their social medias. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your grandma about the podcast.
Most importantly, you have to tell your grandma about the podcast. Just do it for me.
Exactly.
All right, now you take it handy now. You behave.
Take it handy, yeah.
Take it handy.
Bye.